Good morning, friends. Pastor Jason with our check-in for this Tuesday morning here in the second week of our Unraveled series. And I love the scripture lesson that we had this past week, that story of Peter getting out and walking on the water to Jesus. So many little details in that story make that so impactful, so relevant, so important. Kelly's Kids Moment Sunday was a great illustration, I think. When our eyes are focused on Jesus, we're able to stay up above the waves, we're able to walk on the water. When we lose our focus, when we get distracted, that's when we can sink. I think the order of events in this story is of particular importance for us. I'm just going to share a bit from Matthew 14, this for us here today, and then hear the order of these events. So the disciples have been out rowing. Jesus is walking out to them. They get spooked. They get afraid. Peter says this, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat, started walking on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he noticed the strong wind, he became frightened and began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." And I share that again just because I want to remind us again. Jesus doesn't stop the storm first before he calls Peter out. Peter sees Jesus and says, "Lord, if that's you, just tell me to come to you." And Jesus says, "Come." Peter gets out and he's still walking, and he notices and he feels the strong wind. He notices the waves are still rocking and rolling around him. Jesus doesn't calm the sea first, doesn't make the wind die down first. He bids Peter to come. I think too often we think that Jesus is going to calm the storm first, remove all the obstacles first. It's great if we have a clear vision and a clear path for what it is that we're called to do, but that's not always the case, and that is, I think, one of the awesome things that's illustrated by this story. Jesus bids Peter to come in spite of the fact that the wind is still blowing, in spite of the fact that the waves are still big and rolling and crashing against the sides of the boat, and now crashing against Peter now that he's out of the boat. Jesus bids him to come. Maybe for you, maybe for me, he's bidding us to come. He's bidding us to go. He's bidding us to serve. He's bidding us to love. Jesus calls us to something in the midst of the storm. And it's our responsibility to answer that, to hear that, to heed his call, and not necessarily wait for the conditions to be right. It can still be windy. It can still be storming. Christ bids us to come, though. And we need to work on getting past this notion that we have to hesitate until the waves are small, until the wind stops, until the storm is gone. As we tarry, as we wait, we're missing opportunities. We're missing opportunities to spend time with Jesus, to get closer to Jesus, to go and love and serve and, build his kingdom, carry out things in his name. Peter gets out of the boat and the wind is still blowing. The waves are still crashing. When they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Christ bids Peter, calls him out of the boat while the storm is still raging, and that's what he's doing for us right now. We may not be able to wait for the time to be right. We may not be able to wait until it's safe. We may not be able to wait until we think it's a good idea to get out of the boat. Christ bids us to come right now. Spend some time today, friends, maybe in the coming few days. as things are unraveling, as our circumstances are less than ideal right now, wind and waves swirling around us, crashing around us, Christ still bids us to come. And there's some immediacy in that. There's some urgency in that. We might not be able to wait until we feel safe or we feel comfortable. And that's not necessarily what Jesus wants. He's coming to us in the middle of the storm, and he bids us to come. He begs us to hear his call. What's Christ calling you to? Where's he trying to send you? Where's he trying to get you to go? Who's he trying to get you to serve? Who's he trying to get you to love? And are you not doing it because you're waiting for the storm to die down first? This might be some really fruitful and productive thoughts and ideas for us to spend some time with and wrestle with today. Thanks for taking the time to check out our video this morning. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Be safe, be well. Remember how much, friends, that you are loved.